Do you want to know what the US government is keeping secret from the world? If you do, then in this video we'll cover topics like why the death of Jeffrey Epstein is so controversial, why the Pentagon has never been audited before despite spending trillions of dollars, and we'll even talk about the most secretive region in the entire US of A. Enough stalling, here's the top 10 dark secrets of America. Let's dive right in, shall we? Number 10, the CIA programs in Vietnam. If you haven't heard anything of Anthony Russo, then the CIA did their job correctly. Why? Because as a whistleblower, Russo found himself against the entire agency. So when he released the papers, they disclosed the terrors conducted by authorities in the Vietnam War. The government did everything in their power to shove them under the rug. But why did they want to shove everything underneath? Well, it's because the man smashed that like button if you haven't done so already. But no, in all fairness, he was witness to the cruelty that the Americans committed during the wait. There were men hung by their feet or thumbs, electric shock to the genitals, but that's not the worst part. The worst part was the solitary confinement in which Vietnam soldiers spent extended periods of time alone in a cell. And you can imagine the sanitary hell they spent this confinement in? After all, it was the 60s. Number 9, the Soviet spies in the US. From an unethical war from the 70s, we move on to another one of the atrocities from the 20th century. This time, it's near the end of World War II and the Manhattan Project. Since the Soviets wanted to know everything about nuclear weapons development, they managed to infiltrate the most secretive project in the entire world. The Manhattan Project had the top scientists from America working on creating the first nuclear war. One of these men was Klaus Fuchs, and he was one of the veterans on the project. The man shared top secret information with the Soviet Union about the project, and he never answered for his crimes. And the same thing happened with hundreds of other Soviet spies that infiltrated top US government agencies. Number 8, the Kennedy Conspiracy. JFK will forever be remembered as being arguably the greatest president in American history. He was the first president since Abe Lincoln abolished slavery to finally act on black segregation in America. A strong supporter of the civil rights movement, Kennedy was also starting to crack down on organized crime. So one can say that Kennedy was a controversial figure. Based on all of the above, you could see why some people wanted him dead. Well, the JFK assassination was a widely debated topic and a brewing ground for conspiracy theories. One thing's for sure, there were two killers. One was Lee Harvey Oswald, but no one knows the name of the second killer. Furthermore, just one day later, Oswald was shot by the owner of a nightclub owner called Jack Ruby in front of the police. This means all of the secrets and the motives died with Oswald the day he was killed. Number 7, who killed Jeffrey Epstein? One of the most gruesome events of the 21st century was the revelation about Jeffrey Epstein's heinous crimes. He raped hundreds of underage girls, and his private island served as a shipping dock for human sex slaves, which he kidnapped. The entire organization was cracked down only recently, and Jeffrey had to answer for his crime. However, something strange happened in the jail cell. In the morning, guards went to check up on him, only to find him dead. And even though records say he hung himself, the autopsy revealed signs of strangling. And now you can add the fact that the cameras in his jail cell were turned off during this time. And you can't help but wonder if someone wanted him dead. Maybe he held some secrets that his rich friend didn't want us to know about. Number 6, Castle Bravo. Even though it wasn't an actual war, the Cold War still made the world fearful about what the future might bring. The full-blown nuclear war was the major possibility. So while the Soviets and the USA were in an arms race, they had to develop the best and most powerful nuclear weapons the world had ever seen. One of them was called Castle Bravo. It was a hydrogen bomb, 10 times more powerful than the one released on Hiroshima, and its yield was 15 megatons of TNT. Now, what's interesting about this is the 20,000 people that got affected. Since it was tested on the Marshall Islands, the entire population had to be relocated because of the fallout. And when they returned a few years later, they were told that they can't stay there because of the increased levels of radiation. Nice, America. Number 5, Snowden and the NSA. Snowden is responsible for the spike in sales of webcam covers for laptops. Since he was one of the software developers in the CIA, he knew exactly what the US government was doing. He saw the NSA monitor every resident in the country, and they kept a digital file on each of them. Now take a moment to understand what this means to you. Snowden managed to steal the information on a small USB he smuggled out of the NSA headquarters, and the world hasn't been the same since he published all of the strictly confidential information. Because the US government wanted to get their hands on Snowden, he immediately flew to Hong Kong, and now, since then, there's been numerous movies and documentaries made, thousands of talks, and even more arguments among the everyday people. It's believed that he sought asylum in Russia. Are you even surprised the Russians would give him asylum after he leaked the top secret American information? It's a wonder why they haven't made him a national hero by now. Number 4. The hundreds of Superfund Sites. Superfund sites are located in the US that have been known to hold contaminants hidden underground. Whether that's bombs or chemical weapons, there are hundreds of them all throughout the country. The American EPA ordered a cleanup of all the hazardous material that remained hidden to this day. And do you know what the exact number of sites that made it to the national priorities list was? 1,344. More than 1,000 places in the US of A contain some deadly substances and chemical weapons that, if released into the water or the atmosphere, would wreak havoc on the population. Number 3. The 9/11 controversy. Now we come to the most widely debated subjects in American history. The demolition of the Twin Towers or the World Trade Center was one of the most devastating terrorist attacks that shook the entire world. 2,977 people lost their lives in this incident, and the president actively preached a war on terror. Now, you sure as hell have heard all the conspiracy theories surrounding this attack. For example, the melting point of steel is around 15,000 degrees, and jet fuel burns at around 800 degrees. Where did the other 700 degrees come from? Or how about the symmetrical fall of the buildings? Maybe you want to know about how the plane could cut through a steel building like carving through butter. All of these, and many more, are the reasons some people believe 9/11 was an inside job. Number 2, the Pentagon has never been audited. With $2.7 trillion in assets, we can safely say the Pentagon is one of the most important organizations in all of America, and the world for that matter. However, there was not just one audit they did. In fact, there was 21 of them, and to complete all, more than 1,000 auditors from other firms had to put in the work, as well as 150 from the Department of Defense. The documents that they looked at were in the vicinity of 40,000, and they tested over 90,000 items. The fact that the first one was done in 2018 and the agency was founded in 1941 tells us that something's pretty suspicious. Number 1, Area 51. Area 51 is the top secret US Air Force facility that people speculate might be hiding information about extraterrestrial life. While others say it's a military base where the government tests weapons and aircraft, it's located in Nevada, about 120 miles from Las Vegas. The base is 6 by 10 miles, and the area is 23 by 25 miles. It's considered a no-fly zone for aircraft. Wonder why. Now, if you wanted to go there and see what's inside, you'd have to go through more than just one hurdle. First of all, the entire area is marked by orange posts, has barbed wire around it, and the ground is constantly patrolled by the camo dudes, which travel around in these pickup trucks. And just like the Queen's Guard, their guy will never tell you who they are or what's inside the base, even if you answer them. And as if that wasn't enough, there are also surveillance cameras coupled with motion detectors. Some of them are positioned outside of the base, and they're used to notify the guards of anyone approaching the base. Whatever the case, around 2 million people have signed a petition to storm Area 51 and unveil all its secrets, once and for all. And on that note, we end this video. But hey, what are some of the dark secrets of America? You can tell us in the comments section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.